Heath Banger here, Assistant Sports Information Director at Averett University with head wrestling coach Blake Roulo. Blake, fresh off of Nationals weekend, a lot of positive outcomes. Let's talk about how you think it went this weekend.
I think it went about as good as you can expect. I mean, 9 out of 10 of the weight classes won a match there on the biggest stage. It was at the Extreme Arena. There was fans. There was plenty of Iowa fans, and when you're in Iowa country, it's a whole lot of negativity, and our guys got to experience what it was like to get booed. I mean, at one point there was a chant going on when one of our guys were injured. They were like, "East Coast timeout," and it was special for our guys being there and competing. We had 3 All-Americans, and we had some solid performances all the way through. At 125, Samuel Braswell, was the number 1 seed at the tournament and dominated his way to the semis. And we had one period of just bad wrestling, and we lost that semis. We came down, and it's really hard to get your dreams snatched up from under you. And I got a lot of compliments about Samuel Braswell this weekend. The fact that you can lose, have your heart ripped out of your chest, and it's real easy to call it quits and finish 6th. And the tough thing to do is to go out there and win 2 matches in a row. And he did that. Highest finish ever at the national tournament, finishing in 3rd place. And I'm just extremely proud of him. He's our leader. He's our spark plug, and just absolutely awesome there. And 141, Brandon Woody. I think he learned a lot this weekend about mat awareness. He went 2-2, but so much better than that. He's a kid we had making the semis, and it just, being the number 6 seed just didn't turn out that way. And I think one thing that Brandon Woody, if you take away 2 periods of wrestling, he's a 2-time NCAA qualifier and a 2-time All-American. And for him, he has to get smarter when it comes to understanding how to close out those matches in the 3rd period. And then, his best wrestling, we got him for another season, so I'm excited about that. Alex Turley, he wrestled like a man possessed this weekend. He was solid. He's so unorthodox, and you can't prepare for him. And he went out there. He won his first 2 matches, had the Wartburg kid in the quarterfinals. That Wartburg kid wrestled at Iowa State. He lost to him by decision. I want to say the score was 8-5. Came down, pinned a kid from Olivet. Then I forget who he lost to after that, and then pinned the kid for 7th place. He went 4-2 on the weekend, and all 4 wins were by pin. So that was pretty cool to see. And he's just solid. He's a competitor. I know his brother's wrestling at the Division I Nationals right now, but Alex Turley just does all the right things. He came in, he's a leader. Just really excited for him to close the deal out next year. 174, George Mosley. He wrestled solid. He made the quarterfinals, wrestled a Messiah kid who he had seen plenty this year. Came down, won 2 matches. He's just a fighter. He leads by example. He's one of those tough guys. He's become more of a vocal leader. But I'm real proud of Mosley because he is. He's an All-American as well. He finished in 6th place, and I think he is only going to grow from this. One real cool stat is that everybody who is finished ahead of him is a senior. Now, you don't know with the COVID waiver, but if it's a normal year, George Mosley could mess around and be ranked number 1 in the country at the start of next year. So I think that those are good things ahead. Other highlights, Trent Ragland in the 2nd round had the guy who made the national finals, was in that match to the end, just didn't work out for him. Then lost his next match in double OT. Tony Blackman, I believe, turned a corner this weekend, and he's got to be the AJ Shop of Division III wrestling. He's got to be able to choose top. But there was notable performances all the way through. Last one I'll talk about is Zion Carpenter. I think he finally understands that he has to do basics. He went 2-2. Great athleticism, tough competitor, but he's got to learn the basics if he wants to get to that next level. It's one thing to qualify; it's another thing to get on that podium. And I think it was a good lesson for him this week.
So obviously, you talked about Mosley and maybe being the number one guy next year. What does Averett Wrestling, or where does Averett Wrestling go from here? 10-1 year, a lot of bright spots at nationals this past weekend. What's the plan from here? What's the expectations from here?
Well, we're going to have our off-season open mats. One thing we got to fix is we got to fix bottom. There's too many. We got exposed, in my opinion, by the Iowa teams not being able to get up from bottom. And so we got a lot of work to do there on mat wrestling. We got a lot of work to do once we're in on the legs finishing. So we're going to be going off-season. It's this week, and then next week they're off, so it's a 2-week break, and then we'll jump right back into things, wrestling consistently 4 times a week, and then also weightlifting 4 times a week. And, we'll be getting ready for Greco. I know Brazel's going to go full-time into Greco, but we'll have some guys go compete at the 3D Nationals in late April. But I think the biggest thing is, because we just wrestled at the highest level in the country, wrestling a Wartburg, wrestling a Loris, wrestling these best teams, for us, that next step as a program, because we did, there was unofficial team scores, and we finished 9th as a program. And a lot of those lower Midwest teams, they got to bring their whole team this time. So they would have, in a typical year, they would have had 6 guys there. And because they had 10, it's just you got to see the best version of those teams. And it was an extremely tough tournament. But, I think with us finishing 9th, I think for next year, the goal has to be top 5 or team trophy. I think we'll narrow that down as the semester goes, and we kind of finalize these recruits. But we got a solid recruiting class coming in. We're really excited. We'll start announcing that June 1st. It's been positivity all the way, and Averett can only go up from here, in my opinion. Like, we return everybody. Like, you can't say that about teams in our region, and you can't say that about teams in the country. Not everybody's returning everyone. We are by far, in my opinion, the best team in the conference, and I think you'd have to really convince me that we're not by far the best team in the region, but a lot can happen between now and then, assuming there's no injuries. But I'm just really excited. We got some really high goals and expectations for next season.
Well, head coach Blake Roulo, wrestling, want to say, thank you. Congrats on a heck of a year. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I think the biggest thing is, people need to understand that we're not going anywhere. And this isn't a 1-year deal. It's not a 2-year deal. It's a commitment to excellence in everything we do. At Averett Wrestling, your first priority is academics. Second priority is social behavior. Your third priority is wrestling. That model has helped us sustain success throughout 2 seasons, and I think it's upsetting a lot of teams out there that we're not going anywhere. So we're excited for next year. We're going to keep plugging away, and we're going to get better.
Thank you.